Chapter 51 Silly Apprentice, It's Not Easy to Give Something Away. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luck Golden Knife. Lu Feng held a golden sword, he channeled mana into it and felt a sudden surge of understanding. This golden knife of luck was an ultimate treasure, as powerful as any innate treasure. It had the incredible ability to suppress luck and sever cause and effect. Among Lu Feng's many spiritual treasures, it was an exceptionally special one with extraordinary abilities. Meanwhile, as Lu Feng acquired the golden knife of luck, in Zixiao Palace, someone had already entered, prostrated before Hongjuan, and cried, "Master, please. Do me justice. Nuwa and Lu Feng are bullying me." "Oh." Hongjuan frowned and performed a quick calculation. He was stunned. Lu Feng had actually robbed his disciple, Xuandu. Were these two trying to pick a fight with him? One had been the first to establish a religion, and the other was his disciple, completely blocking his path to enlightenment. Hongjuan felt a headache coming on. Normally, the 6 saints should have been settled by now, but something had gone wrong, ruining all his previous plans. Lao Tzu, a saint of inaction, had completely lost his calm, and his temper was about to explode. What were Nuwa and her apprentice even doing? Okay, fine, the first Renrengio was one thing, but now, stealing his apprentice and cutting off another chance for him to preach. That was pushing it. Hongjuan sighed, looking at the weeping old man. He reminded him of those two from the west. "Alright, I know what happened. Get up." But Lao Tzu refused to budge, adding more tears and saying, "Master, you once said I was a saint destined by heaven. Can gods will be overturned by Nuwa and Lu Feng? I refuse to accept this. Please help me, Master." Hongjuan frowned, lowered his voice, and snapped, "Get up. Stop acting like a baby. I said you are a destined saint, and that won't change. Sanctification is just a matter of time. Go back and wait. I'll keep Nuwa and her disciple in check to prevent any more problems." Hongjuan waved his hand, feeling annoyed and helpless. Lao Tzu's sanctification was fundamentally a matter of destiny, a debt the world owed to the great god Pangu. He couldn't ignore it. Hearing this, Lao Tzu could only give Hongjuan a deep look and said, "I will obey your decree." He vanished from Zixiao Palace in a flash of light. At least the trip wasn't a complete waste. He now understood the teacher's position, but he didn't know that after he left, Hongjuan stood and stared in the direction of Hua Palace, confused. "Nuwa, Lu Feng, what's going on? How can Lao Tzu become a saint?" "Congratulations, host. You've completed today's sign-in and received the supreme method, all things in harmony with the divine method." All things in harmony with the divine method allows the user to merge with the origin of any target. Merge with any target's origin. That was vague. Lu Feng frowned. What good was that? What would he even merge with? No way. He didn't need to merge with anything, it would only hold him back, unless it was Hedao, but Hongjuan had already taken the Tao of heaven, leaving only the authentic and human paths. In this prehistoric world, the realms of heaven, earth, and man were supposed to be equal, but Hongjuan's existence had made the heavenly realm supreme, overshadowing the other two. Merging with the other two paths would mean being suppressed by Hongjuan. He'd also lose the most important thing, freedom. Looking at Hongjuan's state after merging with the Tao, Lu Feng knew he'd be restricted. He never wanted that. Wait, hold on. He didn't need to merge with the Tao, but there was someone who could use this to do just that. Hutu, the future saint who would incarnate in reincarnation. Hutu was different from the 6 saints. She'd be a true authentic saint, the only one. She was perfect for merging with the authentic realm, becoming its master like Hongjuan, a being transcending the realm of saints. But what about Hutu being from the witch clan, at odds with his master? Lu Feng didn't care. He'd just obtained the golden knife of luck, which could sever cause and effect. Sooner or later, his master would break away from the monster clan and have nothing to do with them. As long as the golden knife of luck severed the connection, the monster clan couldn't influence her at all. That would eliminate the whole wrong side issue. Besides, they'd both be saints. Sooner or later, they'd team up to take down Hongjuan. Thinking this through, Lu Feng immediately recorded it on the Avenue disk. I'm really lucky today. I got the golden knife of luck, which can sever cause and effect. With this, Master can get rid of the demon clan and no longer be affected by it. But how to explain the origin of this knife, that's going to be tricky. And this law of union of all phenomena, how should I bring it up? Ugh. Annoying. After writing today's entry, Lu Feng heard the system prompt again, congratulations, host. You have completed 1,000 years of daily sign-ins and have been rewarded with the Taishu Dan chapter. Taishu Dan chapter, the method of golden elixir to realize the Tao, directly pointing to the realm of Honghuang Daoyuo Jingxian. A direct path to the Honghuang Daoyuo Jingxian realm. Lu Feng tossed it aside, it was useless to him, he practiced a Tao-level technique, this alchemy stuff, he'd just put it away for now. Maybe it'd be useful later. What palace? Nuwa was looking at the copy of the Great Tao Pan, she was stunned, what was up with her disciple? The golden knife of luck that severs all causes and effects. That was a real treasure. She had been searching for it, but never found anything close. All phenomena can be combined with the divine law, and can actually be combined with the Tao. Hadao. Even for a saint like her, it was unreachable, yet her disciple had obtained it, and he was looking down on it. Nuwa felt like the world was too magical, but when she saw Lu Feng worrying about how to give her the golden knife of luck, she smiled with satisfaction, giving something away was easy. She'd help him out and find a reason. Chapter 52 Your Master's Birthday. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Feng had no idea Nuwa was watching him so closely. She was even starting to covet the golden sword of luck he held. He was still mulling over how to get those items into the right hands when the jade slip on his waist suddenly lit up. It was his apprentice, Xian Du, contacting him. Xian Du usually wouldn't reach out, so Lu Feng figured something was up. And then it hit him, his new apprentice. He couldn't just hand over any old trinket. But treasures like the Taishu single chapter. Those were perfect for sharing with a student. He should have been Xian Du's master. I just swooped in. And since I got him started with alchemy, Xian Du must have a real knack for it. Giving him the Taishu single chapter would be perfect. The thought energized Lu Feng, and he immediately went to Xian Du's cave. Seeing his master, Xian Du bowed respectfully. Master. I've been focused on cultivation, but I'm stuck. I'm not sure what to do. Lu Feng smiled and gently tapped Xian Du's forehead. Xian Du felt a sudden clarity, and the Taishu single chapter appeared in his mind. The more he explored it, the brighter his eyes became. This is, Lu Feng nodded. It's a new technique I found for you. If swordsmanship isn't your thing, let's explore other paths. There's gotta be one out of the countless avenues that clicks, right? Xian Du agreed. I'll follow your guidance, master. But this technique seems significant. Even as a beginner, Xian Du understood the power of the skill Lu Feng had given him. Lu Feng simply waved his hand dismissively. It's nothing. Just a Honghuang Daoyuo Jingxian level technique. I'll give you something even better when I find it. Xian Du gasped. Saint's disciple, indeed. His master was on a whole other level. Were Honghuang Daoyuo Jingxian level skills just throwaways to him? He quickly knelt and bowed to Lu Feng. Thank you, master, for this gift. But alchemy requires a ton of rare ingredients. Disciple. Xian Du trailed off, looking embarrassed. Lu Feng knew exactly what he meant. Most people couldn't afford to practice at that level. But Lu Feng had a system, and countless magical herbs and elixirs at his disposal. Xian Du barely had time to blink before his cave was overflowing. Use these for now. I'll restock you when I get back. Seeing the abundance of resources, Xian Du practically vibrated with joy. Thank you, master. Lu Feng waved it off. It's just some stuff I've collected. With the skills and these resources, you need to work hard and stay diligent. Turnabout is fair play. Nuwa used to talk to me like that, and now I'm giving Xian Du the pep talk. Feels good. I will practice diligently and strive to become a golden immortal within 1,000 years. Lu Feng waved his hand and headed back to his own cave. He'd remodeled it, making it almost identical to the one on Shouyang Mountain. Only difference was, the Shouyang Mountain cave had just one lotus pond. Now, Lu Feng wanted symmetry. He dug out a new lotus pond on the other side, filling both with lotus flowers. It was so much more pleasing to the eye. Settling into his newly repaired rocking chair, Lu Feng felt content. Facing 2 ponds of lotuses, taking the occasional nap, life was good, but as time passed, even Lu Feng started to get a little bored. Before he could find new entertainment, though, Nuwa arrived. Seeing her apprentice, Nuwa felt a surge of frustration. Such a precious opportunity, and he was just wasting his days. But then she remembered why she was there, and her irritation faded. "Greetings, master." Nuwa casually waved her hand and took his spot on the recliner. "Gotta admit, my disciple really knows how to live. Sometimes Nuwa really appreciates the stuff he makes." "What brings you here today, master?" Lu Feng asked, looking at Nuwa in his chair. Nuwa raised an eyebrow and smiled slightly, resting her chin on her hand. "Can't I visit my disciple unless I have a reason?" Lu Feng immediately shut his mouth. "Of course not. I was just curious." Nuwa chuckled. "You're such a lazy bum. All you do is laze around in your cave. Do you think Mount Hua is just a playground?" Lu Feng muttered under his breath. "Aren't you the one making me stay here? If I could go back, I'd be cultivating hard on Shouyang Mountain." Nuwa scoffed. She knew Lu Feng too well. If he actually focused on cultivation, she wouldn't need to be here, pushing him every day. "Lu Feng, let me ask you something. What day is it today?" Lu Feng paused, trying to remember. His mind drew a blank. "I'm afraid I don't know. Please enlighten me, master." Nuwa slapped the armrest of the recliner, annoyed. "It's my birthday. Your master's birthday. And you forgot." Seeing the disbelief on Nuwa's face, Lu Feng thought back. Nuwa was an innate saint. He really hadn't paid attention to her birthday. And in all the years they'd been master and apprentice, she'd never mentioned it. Especially since they'd been master and apprentice for so many years, this was the first time Nuwa openly told him his birthday. After going through all the thoughts in his mind, Lu Feng asked tentatively. "So, master, are you planning to do something special?" Nuwa snorted and smiled. "What do you think?" Under Nuwa's steely gaze, Lu Feng felt a chill run down his spine. But then, he realized this was an opportunity. Chapter 53 Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Feng had been racking his brain about how to get rid of the golden sword of luck when Nuwa handed him the perfect opportunity. He pulled the sword out and gave it to her, saying, "Teacher, I stumbled upon this." "Happy birthday." Nuwa's eyes lit up at the sight of the sword. Since it was meant for her anyway, she took it without hesitation. Lu Feng had hoped that would be the end of it, but Nuwa kept staring at him, making him uneasy. "Teacher?" he asked, hinting, "Gift accepted, time to go, right?" Nuwa scoffed. "That's it? That's all you're giving me?" Lu Feng was taken aback. "Teacher, this golden sword of luck is a serious treasure. It's worth more than a mountain of trinkets." When did she get so greedy? Seeing Lu Feng's disbelief, Nuwa sighed dramatically. "When I took you in, you had a mountain of cultivation resources." Lu Feng's head began to throb. His teacher had been incredibly generous. But Nuwa was a saint, after all. What could he possibly offer that she didn't already have? He'd been so pleased to finally have something worthy to give her, and now this. He was about to speak when he caught a mischievous glint in Nuwa's eye. "Teacher, this is all I've got. You don't want my cast-offs, do you?" Nuwa chuckled. "Oh, I don't know. Some of that junk you find doesn't look half bad. After all, who else had the luck to stumble upon an innate spiritual root, or even a chaos treasure?" She'd been green with envy reading Lu Feng's reports. Even as a saint, her luck wasn't that good, but she hadn't come to plunder his stash. She wouldn't stoop to taking advantage of her own disciple. The golden sword of luck was genuinely useful to her, which is why she'd given him the opening to offer it. Now that she'd teased him enough, Nuwa patted her sleeves and stood up. "Alright, I'm just messing with you. I'm meeting Hudu for tea. Gotta run." Lu Feng perked up immediately. "Wait!" he exclaimed. "Teacher, I have something I'd like you to give to Hudazuwu." Nuwa paused, eyeing Lu Feng. "Oh. You've got more hidden treasures." Lu Feng felt a chill run down his spine. "It's nothing you'd want, teacher, but it would be perfect for Hudu Ancestral Witch. Since you're seeing her anyway, I'd be grateful if you could deliver it." Nuwa suspected she knew what he was talking about. He wasn't always reliable, but he was on the ball when it counted. No need to pry. Besides, Lu Feng had mentioned it in a previous report. She took the jade slip from Lu Feng and headed towards Buzhou Mountain, 300 miles away from Wuzhuang Temple, deep within a dense forest. Honghuang leaned weakly against Jin Yuanzi, a look of utter despair on his face. "I gave away the Hongmeng Ziki. Why are they still chasing me?" He'd barely survived thanks to Jin Yuanzi's help. Jin Yuanzi glanced at the distant mountains. "Now you see what those people are capable of. Maybe try being less of a do-gooder in the future. You're lucky to be alive. You should come back to the temple and recover." Honghuang nodded. "I appreciate it. But if they're not after the Hongmeng Ziki, what do they want?" Jin Yuanzi frowned, then glanced at the sky and said softly, "Could it be? Red clouds bring blessing to the soul. Who in this world would benefit the most from his death? Besides those Westerners and the demon court, probably no one. If the Westerners succeeded, Honghuang and Jin Yuanzi wouldn't stand a chance. The Westerners were saints, and they were merely quasi-sages, a world apart. Hongyan's eyes flashed. "If they try again, we might only have one option." Jin Yuanzi considered this, then nodded. Meanwhile, Nuwa, jade slip in hand, arrived at Mount Buzhou. But she hesitated. Before becoming a saint, she and Hudu had been close. But after becoming a saint, she joined the demon court. The demon clan and the witch clan were mortal enemies, making Nuwa an adversary of Hudu. She had no idea how to hand over the skill. A saint from the other side suddenly offering you a gift. Anyone would be suspicious. Even though Wanxiang Heshenfa was a great technique, the Wu clan weren't stupid. A little reckless, maybe, but not brainless. Nuwa racked her brain, but couldn't come up with a solution. She was starting to regret her offer to Lu Feng. If she'd known this was going to be so difficult, she wouldn't have volunteered. She'd been so eager to help Hudu, spurred on by Lu Feng's report, that she'd jumped at the chance. Now she was stuck with the problem. Time to pass this headache back to Lu Feng. An idea sparked in her mind. Lu Feng had incredible luck, finding good things all the time. Could she mimic that? She wouldn't have to get involved directly. She could just leave the jade slip near Huda's cave, as if it were a chance discovery. 2 birds, 1 stone. Chapter 54 Opportunity from Heaven. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Do it when the thought hits you. Nuwa acted without a second thought, pinpointing Huda's location and raising her hand. Instantly, the jade slip in her hand transformed into a beam of light, rocketing toward Huda's cave. It moved so fast, the slip blasted right through the entrance. Moments later, Hudu, deep in meditation inside the cave, got smacked on the head by something hard. Ouch! The Wu clan was known for their physical strength. Huda was dazed. A red mark bloomed on her forehead, and she instinctively covered the spot, wincing. What the heck? Almost instantly, anger surged through Hudu. Who dares to attack me? She searched around, but found nobody, just a jade slip lying on the ground. Huh? What's this? Meanwhile, Nuwa was secretly observing Hudu from Buzhou Mountain Valley, paying close attention to her every move. Seeing Huda pick up the jade slip, Nuwa nodded, satisfied. Mission accomplished. Everything was going according to plan. Hutu examined the jade slip for a long while, finally giving in to curiosity and probing it with her power. She wished she hadn't. The moment she did, she gasped. Holy cow, there was some kind of magical technique hidden inside. And it was perfectly suited to her. Once Hutu absorbed the slip's contents, it crumbled into dust, but that didn't faze Hutu. She was too busy absorbing the new skill. The Wu clan lacked souls, preventing them from mastering the same sophisticated techniques as Nuwa and others. Most Wu relied on sheer brute force, but the exercises in this jade slip, they were methods of merging with the Tao. And completely in sync with her. It was like it had been custom-made for her. The best part was, if she mastered this, the Wu clan could possibly regenerate an ancestral witch. Who would dare mock the Wu clan then? Hutu's forehead didn't hurt anymore. This wasn't an attack, it was a gift from the heavens. When opportunity knocks, you answer. So, Hutu happily patched up the hole in her cave and dove back into seclusion to begin practicing. Days turned into weeks, and Lu Feng enjoyed a peaceful life, regularly checking on his prized disciples' progress. No complaints there, but one day, two unexpected visitors arrived outside Hua Palace. Town Yuanzi and Hongyun seek an audience with Saint Nuwa. Lu Feng frowned at the announcement. Why were these two showing up now, of all times? And Hongyun, he barely escaped death last time. If he wasn't hiding in Wuzhuang Temple, what business did he have being out here? After some thought, Lu Feng went out to greet them. Welcome, gentlemen. I've informed the teacher and will ask you to wait here. After serving them tea, Lu Feng excused himself back to Xuandu's cave. They were here to see the teacher, so there was no need for him to linger. He'd rather offer his disciples guidance. As soon as Lu Feng left, Nuwa entered the main hall. Jin Yuanzi and Hongyun immediately stood and bowed to Nuwa. Greetings, Empress Nuwa. Nuwa chuckled, settling into the high seat, and said with a smile. No need for formalities, friends. What brings you here today? Jin Yuanzi and Hongyun exchanged a glance, then Hongyun stepped forward. Saint, I've wanted to thank you since you saved me that day, but recent events prevented me. Now that my physical body has been restored, I've come to pay my respects. Nuwa, a saint, wasn't surprised by Hongyun's words. She already suspected the purpose of their visit and was simply testing them. Your thanks are unnecessary. But I suspect there's more to your visit than a simple thank you, right? Hearing Nuwa's words, Hongyun steeled his resolve. Yes. I wish to join the human religion. Countless people are hunting me. I asked the saint to give me a means of survival. Nuwa looked at the kneeling Hongyun, taken aback. She knew Hongyun was being targeted. But she didn't expect him to willingly join the human religion. Hongyun was one of the 3,000 guests of Zixiao Palace. Nuwa had to address him as a fellow Taoist. Hongyun hated being tied down, but now he wanted to join the human religion. Could be a good thing for the religion. They were short on manpower. The Western duo still owed Hongyun karma, so they thought of killing Hongyun to eliminate this karma. With Hongyun still alive, the Westerners would never get the chance to act. If they met Hongyun in the future, their stature will lower. Absorbing Hongyun into the human cult had its downsides. Hongyun was desperate and sought refuge in the human cult. If the human cult accepted him, there was no telling if he would cause trouble. Nuwa wasn't afraid of trouble, but it depended on who was causing it. If it was her disciple, Nuwa would take care of it, but with Hongyun, she had to consider it carefully. After thinking it over, Nuwa decided to consult her apprentice. Lu Feng might be laid back most of the time, but he was sharp when it came to important matters. Lu Feng soon received a message from Nuwa. Hongyun wants to join our cult. What do you think? Nuwa didn't bother hiding her message from Hongyun and Jin Yuanzi, a subtle display of power. If Hongyun joined the human cult, his strength would overshadow her disciples, so, before he joined, Nuwa had to create a little buzz around her disciple. Lu Feng didn't expect Hongyun to join the human religion, but he was quick to answer. If he wants to join, let him join. The human cult needed more people. Another quasi-sage peak power would be welcome. There could be another saint in the future. Hongyun was a destined saint. It's a pity that some people can't tolerate him. Nuwa nodded at her apprentice's reply. Jin Yuanzi and Hongyun were shocked. Lu Feng's status in Nuwa's eyes was far higher than they thought. Nuwa would even ask her disciples for their opinion on the matter. If he joined the human cult, he should treat Lu Feng with respect. Chapter 55 The Position of Deputy Leader. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jin Yuanzi and Hongyun were on the same wavelength. A single glance told them what the other was thinking. Nuwa pressed on. So, what position are you thinking of giving Hongyun in the human religion, my disciple? Taking Hongyun as a disciple was off the table. Right now, it was just Nuwa, Lu Feng, and Xuandu. If Hongyun joined, he deserved a high rank. Lu Feng piped up immediately. Deputy leader, of course. That's perfect. Hongyun was more than qualified, being at the peak of the quasi-sage realm. Deputy leader was a good fit. Nuwa arched an eyebrow. Then it settled. Hongyun felt a little antsy, curious about Lu Feng's quick answer, but he didn't want to jump to conclusions. The leader of the human religion was Nuwa, the deputy leader was obviously Lu Feng, so where would he fit in? Then Nuwa turned to him. Fellow Taoist Hongyun, my disciple has spoken. You'll be the deputy leader of our human sect. I'm counting on you to help out with things here. Hongyun felt like he'd just won the lottery. He was ecstatic, but still a little stunned. I'm the deputy leader. Nuwa nodded. That's right. With Nuwa's confirmation, Hongyun was quick to express his gratitude. Thank you so much, Empress Nuwa. I won't let you down. I'll make it my mission to support the human religion. As soon as Hongyun made his pledge, streaks of purple lightning crackled in the sky. The oath was sealed. Hongyun felt a surge of warmth, and all the wounds on his soul vanished. With Hongyun on board, the human religion's luck took a serious upswing. Meanwhile, in Lingshan, the second saint of the West was fuming. How did Hongyun end up in the human religion? And how did they actually let him join? Jiayin was completely baffled. They tried to nab Hongyun before, but Nuwa stepped in, forcing them to back off. Now that Hongyun was finally out in the open again, even with all their failed attempts, he somehow joined the human religion. And as the deputy leader, no less. If Nuwa wasn't doing this on purpose, neither Jiayin nor Xuandi would believe it. Over in the demon court, Kunpeng also looked miserable, but with Emperor Jun Taiyi in front of him, Kunpeng bottled up his rage and spoke. Your Majesty, with Hongyun in the human religion, any attempt to intercept and kill him could upset Saint Nuwa. If there was one person in the demon clan who wanted Hongyun dead, it was Kunpeng. Back in Zixiao Palace, if Hongyun hadn't been so generous, Kunpeng could have been a saint right now. But that was all water under the bridge. Kunpeng's hatred for Hongyun was so intense, he wanted to grind his bones to dust. Diju and Taiyi looked equally grim. It's unclear what Emperor Hua is up to, bringing him into the human religion. Taiyi slammed the table, jumping to his feet. Emperor Hua already stepped in once, and got her hands on Hongyun's Honghuang purple qi. She still hasn't given it to us. And now she takes Hongyun under her wing. What's her real intention? Dijun saw the bigger picture more clearly than Taiyi. They initially believed Nuwa secured the Honghuang purple qi for their demon clan, so they waited, but Nuwa never delivered the goods, leading to increasing frustration. Now, it was clear who Nuwa intended the Honghuang purple qi for. I'm afraid that Honghuang purple qi isn't for our demon clan at all, but for her disciple Lu Feng. Taiyi exclaimed. But Lu Feng's not up to par. How could he use the Honghuang purple qi? We have plenty of quasi-sages in the demon clan. Can't she tell who's qualified? Dijun shot him a warning glare. Brother, watch your tongue. Nuwa was a saint, disrespecting a saint was out of the question. Thunder rumbled, forcing Taiyi to swallow his anger. Nuwa was too busy to care about the demon court schemes. The second sage of Lingshan, only getting angrier, stormed straight to Hua Palace demanding an explanation. Without even stepping inside, they shouted. Junior sister Nuwa, you intervened in the Hongyun matter once. Why do it again? We advise you to kick him out to save yourself the trouble. Nuwa retorted coldly, her voice ringing out. Thank you for your concern, senior brothers. But my teachings are my business. Besides, who in this world can touch me? Hearing Nuwa's words, Xuandi and Jiayin fell silent. They were no match for her, even combined, they stood no chance. Nuwa's cultivation was on another level. Zixiao Palace, Hongjun frowned, too many variables were at play, and things were slipping out of his control. could the 24th grade Qinglian be responsible? That thought spurred Hongjun into action. The two saints of the west left, and Hongjun appeared in Wa Palace. Nuwa quickly bowed. Disciple greets the teacher. Hongjun nodded and said gravely. Nuwa, I want to discuss some things with you. Nuwa's expression flickered. Her recent activities had clearly caught Hongjun's attention, but she kept a straight face, inviting Hongjun to sit. Hongjun studied the disciple before him. Nuwa, you haven't been acting like a proper saint lately. Nuwa's face fell, and she quickly responded. Teacher, did you come because of Hongyun? I admit, I acted improperly. I'll be more careful in the future. Nuwa's assurance seemed to ease Hongjun's concern. What about your senior brother's sanctification? Nuwa paused, then straightened up immediately. Teacher, my brother's becoming a saint has nothing to do with me. Ever since he visited me last, I've been focused on my cultivation, rarely leaving Wa Palace. Besides, why would his path to sainthood be tied to my human race again? Nuwa's counterquestion caught Hongjun off guard. Chapter 56 Grounding Order. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hongjun was tongue-tied, unsure what to say. Why am I constantly presented with opportunities to create saints among humans? He couldn't exactly admit he was trying to hijack humanity's destiny, could he? After an awkward silence, Hongjun finally excused himself. Nuwa simply curled her lip and settled back into her seat after seeing him off. Lu Feng, meanwhile, was ready for his daily rewards. Another day, another dollar. Looks like the guy from Zixiao Palace just paid a visit. Wonder what he wanted with the teacher. Maybe it's about Hongyun. Makes sense. Hongyun's potential is a direct threat, so he's gotta be sweating. It's just a shame the teacher's tied to the heavenly realm when she's clearly a saint of the human realm and could control it. Otherwise, she'd be on equal footing with Hongjun, heaven's mouthpiece. Is she really willing to give up the heavenly saint gig? If she is, I'm ready to jump on board the humanity train. Becoming a disciple of the Lord of Humanity. The thought alone is awesome. After days of routine reporting, Lu Feng's mind pinged with the arrival of his daily reward. Besides the usual collection of spiritual roots and treasures, one item stood out, a bottle of spiritual liquid, blood coagulation fluid, Honghuang golden immortal level. Packed with potent blood energy for physical conditioning. Lu Feng practically leaped out of his seat. He was a soul cultivator, sure, but he also dug the idea of buffing up his physique. Look at the witch clan and the demon clan. The witch clan didn't have souls. Still, they almost steamrolled the demon clan. If the sage-to-be didn't get involved, things might have ended differently for the witch clan. This stuff was gold. Without hesitation, Lu Feng began absorbing and refining it on the spot. He instantly felt a flood of powerful blood surging through his veins, reaching every corner of his body. It was fiery and intense, and soon his meridians felt like they were about to burst, but he gritted his teeth and pushed through. Logically, my current Daoyuo Jingxian cultivation should be able to handle this. But this blood coagulation fluid is Honghuang golden immortal grade. After a grueling period, Lu Feng felt his deep meridians and body being reborn. Even a light fist clench sent surges of raw power coursing through his palm. This was pure, unadulterated strength. After the refining, his physical prowess had leveled up considerably. He felt like his body rivaled even the 12 ancestral witches, maybe even better than the 12 ancestral witches. Lu Feng couldn't contain his excitement. Nuwa, meanwhile, was blissfully unaware of her apprentice's power trip. Despite sending Hongjun packing, she still felt a sense of unease. Knowing my teacher, he won't just let this go. And as heaven's spokesperson, she's bound by it. Nuwa could already feel the shackles of heaven tightening. With a mere thought, her teacher could erase her from existence as a heavenly saint. How do I break free? Nuwa was stumped. She couldn't even find a clue. After mulling it over, Nuwa decided to listen to Lu Feng's reports from the past few days. Maybe I'll find some inspiration. After all, even if he's a bit of a goofball, he's usually reliable when it counts. Opening the Dao Dao pan, Nuwa tuned into Lu Feng's voice. It had been a while since she had caught up on her apprentice's daily ramblings, hearing the constant stream of random thoughts echoing in Honghuang Tian. Calmed her nerves. It even brought a smile to her face, but when she heard Lu Feng's report today, her expression turned serious. Re-evangelize. Dump the heavenly saint's Tao fruit. Forge humanity and become its master. Each one was a shock, but combined, Nuwa was speechless. Has my disciple lost his mind? That he had reached the golden immortal of Honghuang Daoyuo, but he was still urging her to ditch the Tao fruit of heavenly Tao and start all over. And he still wanted her to be the master of humanity and stand toe-to-toe with the way of heaven? This was straight-up delusional. Nuwa couldn't believe it. She wanted to break free from heaven's chains, but ditching the saint fruit of heaven seemed way too hard to do. That would make her hundreds of thousands of years of cultivation worth nothing. Anyone would be scared to death, right? But her apprentice tossed it around like it was nothing. Nuwa didn't even know how to take it. Nuwa kept listening, but Lu Feng just seemed to be rambling. Soon the report devolved into the usual loot haul. Just when Nuwa was about to switch off the Dao pan, Lu Feng's voice piped up again. Didn't expect to get so lucky today. I straight up took my physical body to the Honghuang Daoyuo golden immortal level. I'm betting not even the 12 ancestral witches can compete with me now, right? Nuwa froze, wait, what? My disciple leveled up his body to the Honghuang de Luo Jingxian, he's a soul cultivator, isn't he? He just skipped the soul part and piled his body to the level of Honghuang Daoyuo Jingxian, what even is this? Nuwa was done. She was already used to the earth-shattering improvements her disciple was making, but her disciple had just pumped his physical body into a Honghuang Daoyuo golden immortal. If word got out, Hongjun would be 10 times more determined to kill him. Nuwa shuddered to think what level Lu Feng would reach if he managed to break through to the Honghuang Daoyuo golden immortal level. Maybe even teacher Hongjun would be out of his league. After a moment, Nuwa Palace was the only safe place for Lu Feng. If he left, it would be chaos. Nuwa immediately issued a grounding order. Lu Feng, effective immediately, you are not allowed to leave the Hua Palace unless absolutely necessary. Chapter 57, Cultivation into the Soul. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Feng strolled up to the entrance of Xuandu's cave on the other side. After teaching him for a while and giving him a cultivation method that suited him, Xuandu had progressed incredibly fast. Lu Feng figured Xuandu would reach golden immortal level soon, but just as he set up his recliner outside the cave, Nuwa's voice popped into his head. From now on, you're staying in Hua Palace unless it's absolutely essential to leave. Lu Feng's heart sank. His teacher was grounding him. But he hadn't done anything wrong lately. What was this about? He was about to go talk to her when a powerful aura suddenly burst from the cave. Lu Feng forgot all about being grounded and eagerly looked inside. His apprentice was breaking through. Becoming a golden immortal in under 1,000 years, who else could do that? Well, except for him, of course. Disciple greets teacher. Xuandu sensed Lu Feng's presence and quickly came out of the cave. Lu Feng waved his hand dismissively. Did you gather the 3 flowers on top? Xuandu nodded excitedly. I did it. Thanks to your teaching, master. Lu Feng was thrilled. With his prized disciple now a golden immortal, he should be able to take him on a trip, right? He'd been stuck in the Hua Palace for 1,000 years. Except for that one trip to get Xuandu, he hadn't been anywhere. He perked up at the thought. Let's go, we're going to see your other teacher. With a flick of his wrist, they both appeared in the Hua Palace. Nuwa raised an eyebrow, surprised to see them. Lu Feng and Xuandu bowed respectfully. Disciple greets teacher. Disciple greets master. Rise. Nuwa wasn't usually concerned with formalities, but seeing Lu Feng so respectful made her curious. What brings you here today? Is something the matter? Her gaze turned to Xuandu. He's quite talented, reaching golden immortal level already. Xuandu nodded shyly. Thank you for the praise, master. It's all thanks to the teacher's guidance. Nuwa chuckled, saying nothing more. She knew her apprentice's personality. Guidance probably meant he figured it out on his own. Xuandu's talent shouldn't be underestimated for reaching golden immortal level in only 1,000 years. Lu Feng cleared his throat. Teacher, now that Xuandu is a golden immortal, I'd like to take him back to Shouyang Mountain. Don't worry, we're just going for a visit. We'll be back soon. Lu Feng hadn't forgotten Nuwa's ban. Actually, it was just a warning. He was a handful, like sneaking off to bring Xuandu back as his apprentice without her knowing. She wasn't sure she could keep covering for him if he pulled that again. Since Lu Feng was honestly asking now, she wouldn't hold him back too much. In that case, go ahead. Lu Feng visibly brightened with her permission. They left the Hua Palace, and in a flash, Lu Feng whisked Xuandu away to Shouyang Mountain. Buzhou Mountain, Panga Temple, a group of shamans had gathered, led by the 12 ancestral witches. They looked at their younger sister Hudu, standing before the Panga statue, with a hint of worry. Sister, we're here to protect you. Just follow the plan. Huda had obtained the law of all things and gods. She proposed to Di Jiang and the others that she unite with Tao using her body. They were initially against it, but she pleaded with them relentlessly. Besides, this method of uniting all things with gods was promising, and it could be an opportunity for her, so they agreed and cleared Buzhou Mountain to protect her. Huda nodded. She began to harmonize all things with the divine law. Everything could be united with the method. This time, Hudu aimed at Buzhou Mountain. Their witch clan was born in the Panga blood pool in the Panga temple on Buzhou Mountain. Huda had a deep connection to it. If she was going to unite with Tao, she might as well unite with Buzhou Mountain. Instantly, the laws of earth flowed from her, spreading throughout the mountain. She quickly felt a response from Buzhou Mountain. Energy from the mountain began flowing into her body. At first, there was a thin mist around her. As more energy flowed, the mist thickened, obscuring her figure completely. When they saw her disappear into the mist, Di Jiang and the others were shocked, but it didn't last long. The fog surrounding the Panga statue gradually dissipated. Hudu emerged from the mist and stood before them. Little sister, how do you feel? Di Jiang was most concerned about her. He wanted to grab her and check her over. Huda smiled sweetly, then, to their astonishment, she raised her hand. Di Jiang stared at the 3 flowers on her head in disbelief. You've cultivated your soul. The 3 flowers were always condensed by cultivators with souls. The 3 golden flowers on Huda's head were a clear sign. She smiled and nodded. But we need to keep this a secret. I've reached the peak of quasi-sage cultivation, and I've conquered Buzhou Mountain. With the 12 of us, we can face a saint without fear. But first, I need to find a way to help you cultivate your souls. Hearing that she was still thinking of them, Di Jiang and the others nodded. Sister, go ahead. We'll be here on Buzhou Mountain. Huda nodded and flew out of Buzhou Mountain. Chapter 58, What Went Wrong with Cultivation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zixiao Palace. Hongjun, sitting cross-legged on his futon, snapped his eyes open. A wave of dread washed over him. As the spokesperson for heaven, Hongjun believed nothing in this ancient world could truly threaten him. Yet, now, he felt a profound sense of fear. Could something be brewing? Immediately, the 24th grade Chaos Green Lotus incident flashed through his mind. He couldn't just sit idle. Hongjun began divining the future. The law of time swirled around him, but a moment later, he coughed up a mouthful of blood. His face paled. He was shaken to the core. How could this be? Why couldn't he glean a single detail? Who or what artifact could block the heavens so completely, leaving him utterly in the dark? Nuwa. She was the only one in the wilderness who could potentially pull that off, hiding secrets and clouding his vision, but he quickly dismissed the thought. It couldn't be her. As a sage of heaven, Nuwa was essentially part of heaven itself. While she could obscure certain aspects, she couldn't completely shield herself. Then who was it? Puzzled, Hongjun fought down the rising panic, and refocused on studying the heavenly Tao. Meanwhile, back with the human race, Lu Feng had indeed brought Xuandu back to the fold. Xuandu's strength was a valuable asset for the humans. Bringing him back to teach and guide would only bolster their collective luck. With Xuandu handling things, Lu Feng was content to kick back and let him take the lead. He hightailed it back to his cave on Shouyang Mountain, making sure to leave it exactly as he found it. Life was good. Nothing beats chilling with the human race, and when Lu Feng was relaxed, his daily sign-ins felt even better. He was a grump if he missed a single one. Maybe it was the good vibes, but the sign-in rewards had been seriously sweet lately. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, innate treasure, demon subduing staff. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, innate treasure, Rakshasa disc. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, 12 innate treasures, origin and sea divine pearls. That last one blew Lu Feng's mind. Another 12 Dinghai divine pearls. Didn't he get 24 from Tong Tian before? These 12 made a grand total of 36, that he immediately pulled out his original 24, the moment the two sets met, they were drawn together by an immense force. Before Lu Feng could even react, the 36 Dinghai divine pearls fused into one. He gaped at the sight. The 36 Dinghai divine pearls floated before him, leaving him speechless. The description that followed was even more mind-blowing. 36 Dinghai divine pearls, top-tier innate spiritual treasure, containing 36 heavens within. Guaranteed to send saints running. Lu Feng burst out laughing. The system was really coming through today. Such a phenomenal treasure, just handed to him on a silver platter. These 36 Dinghai divine pearls possessed power close to a saint's, provided one was strong enough to wield them, but with potential like that, Lu Feng was ecstatic. Days turned into weeks, marked only by Lu Feng's eager daily sign-ins. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, post-innate spiritual root and flower. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, innate spiritual root treasure hunt flower. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, innate spiritual treasure, infinite spear. Congratulations. Daily sign-in complete. Reward, post-innate spiritual treasure, golden silk soft armor. Congratulations. 5,000-year sign-in achievement unlocked. Reward, laws of heavenly formations and laws of the sword. 2 laws at once. Finally, something to truly celebrate. The system usually trickled out fragments of laws. But this time, he'd gotten the fully realized versions. The system was truly the daddy with the deepest pockets. He immediately began mastering the power of the 2 laws. At the same time, the chaos green lotus dharma behind him absorbed the power of the 2. Besides these 2, other half-formed laws flickered within the dharma. These were the other laws that Lu Feng was slowly grasping. They just weren't fully mastered, leaving them faint and incomplete. With the system on his side, Lu Feng could commit to being a happy bum. Sure, the wilderness was fraught with peril, but what did that have to do with a disciple with powerful backing? Who would dare mess with him? Just look at Lu Feng's current power. He might only be a Daluo golden immortal, but at full strength, he could hold his own against even a quasi-sage, which is why Lu Feng didn't expect his peaceful life to be disrupted. When Tong Tian paid him a visit, he was caught off guard, but his reflexes kicked in before his brain could catch up. The moment Tong Tian appeared, Lu Feng was already on his feet, bowing in greeting. Greetings, Master Tong Tian. Tong Tian waved his hand dismissively, looking pleased. No need for formalities, nephew. Looks like my nephew is enjoying a very comfortable life. Lu Feng chuckled, then asked, to what do I owe this unexpected visit, uncle? Tong Tian shrugged. Nothing much, just taking a stroll. Shouldn't you be holed up in your cave, cultivating? Lounging out here in the sun. Are you struggling with your training? Tong Tian couldn't help but wonder. In this world, everyone was grinding away at their cultivation. Few beings would waste time idly sunbathing. Therefore, he assumed Lu Feng was stuck and just needed a break. Chapter 59 Competition 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Feng blinked, surprised. No problem, he's doing great with his practice, and it's not like he's making a huge scene every time he goes into seclusion. That's not why Lu Feng wants to stop him. Besides, I'm already a Daluo Jinxian, so what's the rush? Easy does it. Hearing Lu Feng, Tong Tian, thinking Lu Feng was just being modest, quickly tried to encourage him. Hey, don't be shy, Lu Feng. Your uncle and I know a thing or two about formations and swordsmanship. If you're stuck, I can give you some pointers. Lu Feng couldn't help but chuckle. If he hadn't just mastered the laws of formation and swordsmanship today, he might actually be interested in what Tong Tian had to say. After all, the Zhuxian formation in Tong Tian's hands is seriously powerful. During the conferred god period, it even held off 4 great saints. And the Qingping sword that Tong Tian always carries is also incredibly strong, though, after getting the 4 swords of Zhuxian, Tong Tian hasn't used the Qingping sword as much, but that doesn't mean Tong Tian's swordsmanship is lacking, so, Tong Tian meant well when he offered advice, but Lu Feng really didn't need it right now. Thanks for the offer, Uncle Tong Tian, but I don't need to practice formation and swordsmanship right now. Lu Feng has already grasped these 2 laws completely, so why would he need Tong Tian's guidance? Maybe Tong Tian doesn't even know as much as he does. Tong Tian immediately frowned. Hearing this, most people would give anything for a saint's guidance. Why did this kid have to turn it down? He'd heard from Nuwa that this disciple of his was usually lazy with his training, and now he saw it for himself. How can you be lazy when you're cultivating? And this is a saint offering advice. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're just brushing it off. Look, Lu Feng, I'm going to be honest with you. You can't train like that. Don't just skip it, 'cause you think you don't need it. I'm telling you, tons of people would kill to study under me. Since I'm offering, you better take advantage of it. Lu Feng really didn't expect Tong Tian to be so insistent, but he really doesn't need it. Master, seriously, I'm good. I've pretty much figured out the rules of formation and swordsmanship. He didn't want to hurt Tong Tian's feelings, so Lu Feng tried to be a little more humble, but Tong Tian didn't appreciate the modesty. Oh, you think you've got it all figured out? Why don't you show me what you've got, and I'll see how far you've come. And if you haven't been practicing hard, you're going to sit through my lectures, got it? Lu Feng grinned. You said it, uncle. If I'm better than you, you can't give me any more advice, and you have to let me borrow your immortal killing sword to play with. But if I'm not as good as you, I'll give you 12 more of the 24 Dinghai divine pearls you gave me earlier. I'll give you all 36. How's that sound? Tong Tian never expected to be cornered like this again, but then it hit him, wait a minute. He'd only given out 24 Dinghai divine pearls last time, where did Lu Feng get the other 12? Those 24 Dinghai divine pearls came from Fenbayan when he was listening to the sermon in Zixiao Palace. There should only be 24 of them in the world, so where did the extra 12 come from? Now there are 36 Dinghai divine pearls, and their power is probably close to a chaos spiritual treasure, right? Even if they don't reach that level, they should at least be top-tier innate spiritual treasures. Thinking about it, Tong Tian started to get excited. Alright, nephew, you're on. In the next second, Tong Tian summoned the Qingping sword. Lu Feng's eyes lit up when he saw the Qingping sword, as much as he wanted the immortal killing swords in Tong Tian's hand. Lu Feng really preferred the Qingping sword. Too bad it's Tong Tian's personal spiritual treasure. He won't just hand it over to anyone. That's why Lu Feng had settled for the next best thing, getting Tong Tian's 4 immortal slaying swords. Even though the 4 swords of killing immortals are only acquired spiritual treasures, they're as powerful as innate spiritual treasures when used right. Take Tong Tian for example. He once used the immortal killing formation to push back 4 saints. Nephew, where's your sword? Lu Feng smiled and raised his hand. He grabbed a branch from a nearby tree and snapped it off. This is all I need. Tong Tian was stunned by the wooden stick in Lu Feng's hand, but before he could say anything, Lu Feng's aura suddenly surged. An overwhelming sense of swordsmanship enveloped the world. Tong Tian was still reeling from the sheer power of it. What is this? Lu Feng looked relaxed. Ready to start, uncle. Lu Feng casually swung the branch, but the swordsmanship contained within was so incredible that it tore a hole in the sky. Tong Tian was speechless. How can you understand swordsmanship this well? Tong Tian isn't stupid. he could tell Lu Feng's level at a glance. Lu Feng's swordsmanship had already surpassed his own, even though Tong Tian's swordsmanship had reached the peak. Seeing Tong Tian standing there, Lu Feng chuckled. Still want to compare? Compare. What's there to compare? The gap between them was huge, and Tong Tian wasn't arrogant enough to compete with someone who'd completely mastered the law. But the thing is, Lu Feng is only a Daluo Jingxian. How can his understanding of the sword be this deep? Tong Tian is a saint, and he's being outdone by a Daluo Jingxian. How can he accept that? Even if he lost in swordsmanship, Tong Tian wasn't going to give up. Then let's compare formations, that even if a Daluo Jingxian is a master swordsman, there's no way he can perfect formations, right? Tong Tian believed his formations were the best. Lu Feng couldn't possibly beat him. Lu Feng just shrugged off Tong Tian's pettiness and happily tossed the wooden stick away. Sounds good. Hearing Lu Feng's reply, Tong Tian immediately summoned his 4 swords of Zhu Xian. In an instant, wind, thunder, water, and fire gathered together. Chapter 60. Thank you, Master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The whole area felt like it was being ripped apart. The power was so intense, it was hard to breathe. Lu Feng simply raised his hand and tossed out his 36 Dinghai divine pearls. Go get M. The 36 pearls shot toward the Zhuxian formation. Almost instantly, Tong Tian was reeling, forced back a step by their impact. The Zhuxian formation remained intact, but the fact that a saint like Tong Tian was pushed back by the pearls spoke volumes. Seeing Lu Feng's relaxed expression, it was clear he hadn't even been pushing himself. Tong Tian was now thoroughly impressed. Didn't expect you to have this kind of strength. Consider this my gift. You win, fair and square. Acknowledging defeat, Tong Tian had no choice but to hand over the 4 swords of Zhu Xian to Lu Feng, along with the Zhuxian formation diagram. After all, Tong Tian had received the 4 immortal swords from Hongjun, who had also taught him the formation diagram. Lu Feng had mastered his own formations, but Hongjun was close behind. Deciphering the immortal killing formation was still a tall order. Not to mention the karma involved. Lu Feng wanted no part in that, so he was happy to take the results Tong Tian offered. Taking something so valuable, Lu Feng gladly handed over some formation diagrams of his own to Tong Tian. Hey, Tong Tian, I'm not borrowing your treasure for nothing. I'll give it back when I'm done playing with it. Tong Tian was taken aback by the formation diagram Lu Feng had just sent directly into his mind. Even as a saint, he could feel the raw power contained within the formation. One of the formations was strikingly similar to the one on Jinao Island, but more complete. If it could be used for defense on Jinao Island, Tong Tian was practically drooling. Nephew, you have fun with those swords. I've got to run, got some things to take care of. Lu Feng knew exactly what Tong Tian was thinking and waved him off. Go right ahead, uncle. Thanks for the loan. As soon as Tong Tian left, Lu Feng burst out laughing. I can't believe I'm holding the legendary 4 swords of Zhu Xian. Talk about hitting the jackpot, right? Why is it that every time Tong Tian visits, he practically hands me a treasure? Last time, he gave me 24 Dinghai divine pearls. This time, the 4 swords of Zhu Xian. Next time, is he going to hand over his personal weapon, the Qingping sword? Nah, probably not. It's rare for a disciple to get their hands on someone else's personal magic weapon, much less an outsider. Truth be told, Lu Feng had gotten lucky today, forcing Tong Tian back with the pearls. Tong Tian is basically the strongest fighter in this ancient world, aside from Hongjun, but now, that ceiling strength is just a bit below his teacher. Lu Feng's 24 Dinghai divine pearls already had the power to push back a saint, but it all depended on who was using them. If Lu Feng were just a Daluo Jingxian, he wouldn't have made a dent in Tong Tian's defense, but he was practicing the great Dao Honghuang method. That thing boosted his combat power 50 times. He could withstand a blow from his own teacher, let alone Tong Tian. As for Emperor Jun Tai and the rest, he didn't even need the 36 Dinghai divine pearls. Now that he had the 4 swords of Zhu Xian, Lu Feng could rely on the Zhuxian formation to take on 4 superpowered quasi-sages. Just thinking about it made him excited. An excitement he had to share. He couldn't exactly say this to his apprentice, so Lu Feng just did his usual report today. It's a great day. Tong Tian came bearing gifts. Wanted to test my law power, but lost and even let me borrow the 4 swords of Zhu Xian. Now I can walk all over the place, blah blah blah. As soon as he finished his report, the system chimed in right on cue, congratulations. Today's reward, Honghuang Avenue level Zhu Gua. Lu Feng was a little confused by the red fruit in his hand. It looked like something that could knock you out cold. Still, it was a high level, but what did it do? Lu Feng immediately pulled up the red fruit's description, Zhu Gua, Honghuang Dao level. Consume to reshape your Honghuang Dao fruit. Lu Feng nearly facepalmed, seriously. Perfect timing. He'd been worrying about how to convince his teacher to remove the heavenly Dao fruit, and now, this little fruit. As soon as his teacher removed the heavenly Dao fruit and absorbed this, he'd be a Honghuang Daoyuo golden immortal. Skipping the entire training process. This thing was perfect. Now that he had the golden sword of luck and the Zhu Gua, the only thing missing was a Honghuang Dao level technique. If he could find the right technique for his teacher, she'd break free from the constraints of heaven and create the human way. And as her top student, he'd be unstoppable. Maybe even Hongjun would have to be nice to his teacher. Instead of just ordering people around in Zixiao Palace. Lu Feng got pumped just thinking about it. He rummaged through his inventory, but couldn't find a suitable technique for Nuwa. Techniques were in short supply. After a moment, Lu Feng gave up. Maybe the system would be kind enough to drop a good one next time. He wasn't about to give his teacher anything subpar. After studying the 4 swords of Zhu Xian, Lu Feng felt sleepy. They were religious, so they didn't need sleep. But Lu Feng still made a point to sleep early and wake up early. He just wanted to be a happy little green lotus, facing his lotus pond, with spring flowers blooming. Lu Feng neatly packed away the recliner and headed back to his cave for the night. But before he could take 2 steps, a surge of power erupted behind him. He looked up and saw space itself tearing apart at the foot of Shouyang Mountain. This was a big deal. Lu Feng's drowsiness vanished. What kind of psycho was picking a fight with the human race? And it looked serious. Lu Feng immediately shot off a magic spell to Hong Yun. Deputy Leader, something's going down at Shouyang Mountain. Need backup, ASAP.